Alright, in today's video, we are going to talk about how to manage database recovery objects. So what is a database recovery objects? Basically, they are like database backups, archived logs. Those things are called recovery objects. They are used for like in case you need to recover a database. So in Db2, IBM provided a simple automated way to managing those recovery objects. So basically, it will accomplish through a database configuration parameter. It is called auto delete recovery objects. These parameters combined with another two parameters. One is called number of database backups and recovery history retention. So the basic three parameters, you tell the database engine how to managing those recovery objects. Okay. So here's the IBM online documentation. They have some example. So there's two example. One example is set these parameters on and set these parameters 0 and number of database backups equal a given number. And there's another one similar, but this time the recovery history retention is not a 0. So sometimes when people are using these parameters to accomplish this automating database recovery object, it may get confused. Okay, so in this video, we're gonna use some demo to demonstrate, and so we can have a better understanding and to learn what is pro and con to use those this methodology. Okay, so let me go to, okay, here's a diagram. So basically, for example, if we have a database, and the database, this is the database engine, you have logs, you have database files, and also there's another file called recovery history file. And when you perform a backup, either manually or through the scheduled job, so you basically back up those data into a location. And at the same time, the database engine may archive a log from the active log location to the archive location. And at the same time, those operations like backup will be recorded into called history file. Okay, it's called recovery history file. And after you perform like backups, so you're gonna have backup image like in certain location. So gradually you may have lots of backups, lots of logs and a long list of history file. So these things needed to be cleaned up. Typically, there's two ways to do that. One, you can schedule a job to do the cleanup. Okay, this is you basically write a script to do this. Like this is like recovery objects, right? Including this history file. And another thing is use the three parameters in the IBM documentation to accomplish this one. Okay, so that is today's demo. We're gonna demonstrate these three parameters, how we can use them to accomplish certain like things, so we can managing those backups. All right, I said let's go to a demo system. So let me go to a demo system. Let me bring up a few windows, okay? So let's see. Open like 4 windows. So let me log on to the sample system. So I'm going to access shell to the. So the user, either I'm using the root or instance owner. So in this case, it's Db2 inst 1, and the server name is 08. Okay. So all right. So on this server, we have I have 2 databases. I'm going to use one of them to do the demo. It is called sample. Okay. So let's take a look at the database configuration. So let's see config to sample. Okay. So this is all the DBF CFG parameters. So what we are interested, let's see, 3 parameters, okay? So I probably already have in the history. I just do a retrieve the history, okay? So I'm gonna retrieve the history, this one. All right, so basically I do a db2 get dbcfg. Oh, this is for sample 2. Let me go to the sample. This is I have like 2 or 3 databases there. So I'm going to use just sample as well. So let's see. All right, here it is. This is the default value. So the number of backup is 12. Recovery history retention is 90 days. And auto delete is off. So if you do a backup to a location, so it's gonna stay there until you delete it, either manually or using like a cron tab jobs, or use later the database engine to do it. Okay, so to enable the automatic deletion of this recovery object, you will set this to be on instead of off. Okay, so that is how you accomplish. Okay, so let's do that. So let's change this to so I'm going to change it. So I'm going to use db2 update dbcfg using probably let's do a connect first. Okay, so I'm going to connect the database first. Connect to this one. So it's going to be db2 update dbcfg and oh, I see. There's the issue right now. How do I do that? Because this is the header database, so the standby is not up, so I can't connect. So let me pause the video and start up the standby. So in this way, I can connect to this database. Okay, while it's working on the startup the standby database, let me log on to a few other tables so I can open some window for monitoring. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. So the 3 window is going to be used. One is monitoring the backup. Let me do another one. Another one is going to be the one. Another one I'm going to monitor the log. Okay. Let me see. So this is the second window. So I'm going to open one more window. It's going to be. I'm going to use monitoring the history file. Okay, so Oh, by the way, if you know like to know where the history is, it is should be in the it's called data path. Okay, the DB path. So typically, in this case, let me just do a quick find. So DB2 are his. Okay. So basically, you're gonna find the name called the DBR history. So that is the history file for each database. Okay. In my case, I have two databases. So you see, it's SQL 001 and SQL 02. This is the history file. Okay. Just FYI. So give me a second. All right. So the database is ready. It is so. Let's make a change to from off to on, okay? So we're gonna change this one to enable this to enable the automate management, okay? So let's see using. I forgot the keyword using, okay? All right, so it's changed. So now we're gonna do some experiment, okay? So before do that, let me set up some a monitor. One monitor is I'm going to back up to this location. Okay, I have a location. It's called DB backups. So this is the current location. I have two backups saved there. So I'm going to monitor in this location. Okay, so I just simply use the watch this to look. Okay. So they will, so you see I have two backups current. They will refresh every 2 seconds. Another one is I'm going to monitor the log location. Okay. For the log location, we need to find out the the archive location. Okay. So basically, let's see, grab archive. So this is the location, okay? It's called log arcmass1 or log arcmass2. In my case, it is log arcmass1, so it's pointing to this location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a ls to see what log current archived log is there, okay? So it's going to be, so that location is basically managed by database engine. So it's going to be the instance name, then followed by database name, then followed by a node, followed by 4 zeros, then log streams, then followed the folder. Okay. So right now I have log 12 and log 13. Okay, this archived log. So if you go back the diagram, so that is from active log and archive to this location. Okay. Now it's almost ready. So I have two. So let's also use watch to so they will refresh. So in this way, we don't have to run it every time. Okay. So I'm gonna watch this location as well. Right now I have two. Okay. So for the history file, you're gonna use called list history. Okay. So let me retrieve some old command. It's called list tree history. You see the so you see the if you run this, it's going to be let's see. If you run db2, so you see db2 list history backup all the time frame, okay, for this database. Let me remove this grep. So you will see when you run this command, they will list the history of all the backups, okay? So like you see in this one, this is the last one. So it's back up on this starting date. So I'm gonna just just grab one of the ancient to see how many in the history, okay? Grab EID, you see, total I have, so far I have 7 backups. So here's where the backup, so you back it up, okay? As we said, we also monitor this location to see how this is going to change when we do the backup, okay? So I'm gonna just watch this as well, so you will see. All right, so this is what we have right now. So now I'm gonna do a backup, okay? So before I do the backup, let's check the this is 3 parameters, okay? All right, so right now we know this is on, this is default, this is default. So we first demo, we're gonna just do a simple backup, okay? So let's do a backup. So I'm gonna do a backup, okay? Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna do an online backup and compress. You see here immediately, this backup is create an image in this location. Also, if you look at this monitoring, you see one archive log being archived from active log to this location. Similarly, for the history, you see it was 2, 4, 7. It was 7. Now it's 8 entries for the backup. Okay, so now we're going to change that another 2 parameters to see how they work together. Okay, so let's retrieve that this command. Okay. I think because backup terminate my connection. So let me go back to for sample. Yeah. All right. So let's go back to the IBM documentation. We're gonna see the first. Okay. So we're gonna see the first example. Okay. So according to the notes, it says if recovery history retention is 0, that means we are not like retain any history information. And then everything is going to be decided by a number of dB. What's that mean? What that means says if you set this to be 0, and then how many backups is going to return on the to be retained by database engine is going to be that number. So let's do this demo first, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Db2, let's go back to that update statement. So we're going to update to 0 to this. You use this for demo first, okay? So we're going to use. We're not going to keep any history, so we're going to use this one, and then 0. Okay. So I have to. Let's see. I have to connect first to make this change. Okay. Connect. Make this change. Okay, this changed. So we make this change is 0. We also need make a change to another one. So let's see. Right now it says keep 12 backups. So I want to keep like only 2 backups. Okay. So because I don't want many like backups saved on the disk. Okay. So let's see. We want 2. And So that is also in the real world. You decide how many backups save on disk, how many is going to be, back to the tape or something like that. All right, so let's check this config. So it's let's see. All right, so this is our current backup, three backup parameters, the value. So because it is number of backup is 2, right? And also this is 0. If now we do a backup, you will find all this going to be purged. Anything like, because we don't want to keep this history, and also the number of dB on this location is also going to be retained only for 2. Okay, so let's confirm this. So let's do a backup now. Okay, so I'm gonna do the backup. Let's see. All right, so it's still backing up. So let's see. Now you see they purge the old one. Okay, they will see I'm only keep like 2 of them. So also you see here, and the log file was also get purged. So let me do one more time. All right. Once it's finished, you look at this window, right? So it's basically, and let me see. They basically keep like 2 backup files. Okay. As far as the log, it's according to document. It is the log between backups. So that means if we keep 2 backups, so those logs was keeping in accordance with the backup. Okay, how many are gonna be retained? And I think because it's not very clear, the window is. Let me Control C. Okay, let's do this. You see, it is 2, only maintained 2. Because the watch command, also my window is too small, it's kind of wrap it up. We didn't say clear, okay? So, and also let me terminate this one as well. Let me do, you see, it's also, in this case, like I maintain 2 logs, 15 to 16. Also, if you look at the timestamp, it's basically just right now. So let's do one more time. Also, you see the ancient, it is only keep 1. Before that, do that. Let me also just simply do just a 2. Okay. So let me do one more time. So to make it clear, okay. So I do this backup. So and then examine these 3 locations. So backup finish. Let's first examine the backup location. You see, it's keep the only 2, okay? And also from here, they remove the 15 and keep 16 and 17, okay? And here, because the window is too small, but you do see the timestamp. You see, they remove this one and keep this one and this one, okay? So let's also look at here. You see now the entry from 30 removed 29, 30, 32. Okay, so this is very simple. When you look at the document, so it's basically saying if you don't want the backup history, so everything is going to be determined by the number of DB backups. So if you set DB backups 10, they will retain 10 DB backups, okay? That is a straight cut, it's very simple. The second situation is this recovery history retention, if you set a finite number like non-zero, then it is the behavior you have to everything is going to like in accordance with this value. Okay, if you said I'm gonna keep like 1 day, so you can have this number of dB is kind of irrelevant because the Db2 engine is going to do the purge depends on the timestamp, not the number of backups. Okay, let's rephrase. For this one, if you see I'm not keeping the history, then everything's determined by the DB backup. However, if you see I'm going to keep the history, then the number of DB backup is kind of irrelevant. They will keep any backups is within this retention period. Okay, so and also if you read this, you will probably now understand like if you perform like weekly backup or daily backup, you will end up how many like backup image if you use this set of parameters. Okay, so let's do a demo as well. All right, so now I'm going to change, let's see, we're going to change to retention. Let's see, we're going to change to retention to 2 days, okay? Let me connect again. So I'm going to change this to 2 days. And also I'm going to change another one. Let's see, we want to change, keep 3 backups, okay? So as I said, once you change this to a finite number, the number of dB backups is not that important because any backups, as long as the timestamp is within the retention period, will be kept. Okay, although we set a 3, you can keep as many you want, depends on how frequently you do the backup. Okay, so we change. Now let's do the backup. Okay, so I'm gonna do a backup. Let's see. Let's see this. Okay, I'm gonna do a backup. Okay. So let's look at the backup location. So we're gonna have 3 backup, right? Because none of this backup, it is all of this backup right now. It is within 2 days. So that is what I said. Although let's do this one as well. So I get a 3 log file. Let me do one more. Before I do that, let's examine this one as well. Okay. So now you see it just keep growing. Okay. So I do one more backup. Although it says number of backups equals 3 in our case, however, the database engine will not do the purge because it hasn't reached to the 2 days that timestamp. Okay, so it should finish. So let's see. Now we're gonna have 4 backups here until after once those backups reach 2 days, then this will be purged. Okay, similar on the archive location. You see for the archive logs, it is not only when we do the backup, database engine gonna cut a log. Like during the normal operations, it will also cut log. Okay, and also if you do a manual archive log, you can also archive log. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so I got one more. Okay, let's manual archive log. So if you do a manual archive log for sample database, you can do that as well. Maybe Db2 archive log for DB, I think. Let's see if it worked. Yeah, it worked. So now you see you can have archive log here, right? So let's do one more, and then we're gonna end this demonstration. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more time. Just see. Okay. All right. So let's see. Then we add. You will see. I'm getting one here, right? And also more logs from here, and also the engine. So, however, if you do this like regular, if you schedule those backups on a regular basis, so for example, you do it daily, right? So then you will end up with two backups and a few logs, depending on how many logs between these two backups. So and also in the history file, they will keep 2 days as well. So that is what sometimes for the beginner, it's got confused because this one is easy to understand. If you said, I don't want to keep the history, then it's purely decided by number of backups. However, if you want to maintain certain days of or maybe even months, like the history file, then this is kind of irrelevant. So that is sometimes it's not very convenient. So in this case, you said, I want to retain the backup the history for 1 month and want to maintain like a number of backups, like 3 on the disk. Then you have to do some write a script and schedule a job to do that, because it's harder to accomplish by those 3 parameters. I wish IBM can make this more simple, and instead of using this as for everything, they may combine this as a or. So either it is return like certain days or the number of backups. So give certain flexibility. So for managing those recovery, and either way. So back to the topic, some automating database recovery management. So people have choice. You either use IBM's method or write your own script, or combine these two together to managing the database object. Okay. Hopefully, this demo can provide some clear demonstration how to use